A pair of white wings were outstretched beneath the girl who had fallen face up. Were they fake? No, they didn't look that way at all. If these were fakes, then they were very elaborate ones. And if they were real, no human should have wings growing from their back, which means she wasn't human. In other words, an angel? Hey guys, Kaderi Ghost here, and welcome back to Bokuten. So, let's get back to it. It might be less work for them if I went over rather than having them deliver food to me. Not going was just me being selfish. Their home was way too warm and inviting for me. I was much more comfortable alone. Huh? I heard sounds coming from inside the house, but no one else should be here. It was coming from underfoot? Just then, I felt something soft snuggle up to my feet. Whoa. A stray cat? What? It was a cat. No, 3 cats. What? They were all filthy. If I had to guess, they were all dirty strays who had made this neighborhood their territory. Aww. How do you always manage to get in here? Don't let him in, man. I'm allergic. Please. Obviously, they could only go meow, but I more or less knew what they wanted. Hungry? Meow, 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 meow. Cue Nyan cat over here. Okay. Looks like I nailed it. It really made me wonder what the point of human language was when we could, when we could communicate in this fashion. Especially since there were sentiments you could never convey in words, no matter how hard you tried. The stray ran out of patience and jumped up on the table. Hey, I told you to stay off the table. Aww. The tiny animal didn't seem to care. I was disillusioned with the idea of communication. Be it with words or even telepathy, there were some things you just couldn't convey. You know, you guys probably shouldn't eat too much human food. Of course, the worse something was for you, the better it tasted. So many homes in the area were feeding these strays that they had become picky. If they were fed something plain, they would occasionally act stuck up and refuse to eat. Bruh, then don't feed them. Jeez. I guess it's okay once in a while. Eat whatever you want. Maybe they really did understand me. The second I gave the okay, they stormed up onto the table. Okay. Oh my god. Oh wait, so he gave them the food that the girl literally made for him and brought over. That's so messed up. Is it that good? Bruh, imagine having to be the voice actor for that. You're like, okay. Nakizaki would definitely be happy that the food she made was being eaten so enthusiastically. This had to be more worthwhile than me eating it, at the very least. I don't think she would, dude. I don't think she would. Within minutes, the meal Nakizaki and her mom worked so hard to make vanished into another dimension, the dimension known as the stray cat's stomach. After the stray cat licked my hand to show its appreciation, the little stampeders scurried off elsewhere. Seriously, where were they coming from? Figuring that out sooner or later might be wise. Yeah, how are they getting into your house? Maybe you should worry about people getting into your house. Okay. Arigatou gozaimasu. Just like that, the meal was over. Eating was a pain, so their timing couldn't have been better. Still, I'd better just pretend I was the one who ate it. Nakizaki would probably get angry if she found out. This main character though. Bruh, this guy, he kind of pisses me off just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit. I brought the dishes to the sink and cleaned them up. Meals were a chore, but I didn't mind cleaning up afterwards. In fact, I preferred doing dishes the most. It felt nice running my hands through the water. An astrology book Nakizaki once showed me said I liked it because Cancer was the star sign of water. Okay. When I read that, I thought, oh, that makes sense. Okay. Just don't get cancer, okay? Don't do it. Don't get it from that, okay? At that time, Nakizaki said, the constellation Cancer symbolizes maternity, so it's very affectionate, but I thought it was a lie. I wasn't affectionate in the slightest. Yeah, you could say that again. Shake my head, dude. I decided to take a bath after I finished the dishes. Cancers were supposed to like water, but I found baths quite troublesome. I don't know why, but it's kind of funny to me. Just cancers were supposed to like water. Okay, alright, you can word it like that, I guess. That's kind of messed up, but alright. Yeah, I guess that's just how astrology works. I don't think that's real, okay? Just saying. It's fine if you believe it, I just personally don't. I would immediately get dizzy when I used the bath, so I didn't use it much. Heating up the tub just for me was a total waste. Once it got a little colder, I would naturally have to heat up the bath anyway. My bathroom is chilly, so taking nothing but showers all winter would be rough. Okay. After my bath, I once again had nothing to do. I considered going to bed, but if I went now, I'd probably wake up in the middle of the night. I had always been a light sleeper, and even the smallest things would wake me. If I woke up in the middle of the night, I'd never be able to get back to sleep. I'll stay up too. No, at least one more hour. I thought about going and practicing with my bow, but Nakizaki's old man might be using it. Nakizaki's old man, my mentor, had a habit of sneaking out and practicing in the dead of night. It sounds like you, dude. It would be bad if I wound up disturbing him. On the other hand, going outside also sounded annoying. Ultimately, I'd probably just laze around and space out. Better brush my teeth. Oh god, that sound. Better brush my teeth before going to sleep. Oh god, stop. I don't know why, but that sounds like, cringe, dude. Okay. I went around and turned off all the lights. Granted, I was alone, so there weren't many lights on to begin with. Last was my room. I turned off the light and headed to bed. My futon was a bit cold. I had never been in one before, but I bet this was what getting into a coffin felt like. Whenever I got into a cold futon, the thought, what if I never wake up again, crossed my mind. Okay, that's kind of messed up. People often said that sleep was a lot like death. How would they know? Did they die? I don't think so. With that in mind, I submerged into my cold futon and closed my eyes with relief. But in reality, my eternal rest had never come. Morning always came again without fail. And tomorrow morning would surely be the same. Nobody was there to respond, so I didn't say goodnight. I just silently closed my eyes. When I closed them, a certain person's face crossed the linings of my eyelids. I pretended not to see and closed even the eyes to my heart. You like Nakizaki. You better. I don't know. It's always darkest before the dawn. Who was it that taught me that again? Right now, the sky was as concealed in darkness as that saying suggested. English, thank you. Okay. No matter how much I looked up, my eyes had nothing to focus on, unable to see through the deep space. It was so dark that it nearly gave me vertigo. Hopefully it's deep space and not dead space, because that's not good. I slowly drew my bow and aimed into the darkness. This was a traditional wakyu bow, not a bow made for archery. I was practicing what I called empty draws and didn't have any arrow ready. Still, I drew back the bowstring as if one were knocked and my mind wandered. I imagined an arrow flying through the pitch black night, then quietly striking and sinking into its target as the wind wound around me. Hit. With my imaginary task complete, I slowly retracted the bowstring. I was gonna say, isn't it bad for bows to just shoot it without a bow? Or without an arrow, thank you. I'm not actually sure about that. I couldn't carelessly release the string without an arrow equipped. The bow would be damaged by the full force that the arrow would normally expel. Oh, I did it. I knew it. Essentially, it would hurt the bow and could even snap the bowstring. As such, I gingerly returned the bowstring to its original position while taking slow, easy breaths. After catching my breath, I quietly drew the bowstring once more alone in the pre-dawn darkness. What am I doing this for? That question no longer occurred to me. I had long since passed that stage. When I drew this bow over and over again, that thought faded with time. All that remained was the target in my imagination. Okay, I don't think that's actually practicing for bow, just saying, okay? Only the target and myself. At this moment, those were the only two things that existed in the whole world. Yeah, that brick wall, dude. You better goddamn get that brick wall. As I drew the bow and focused on my imaginary target, a crimson thread appeared between me and it out of thin air. The target and I were connected by a red thread. It was just like the thread of fate from Chinese lore. That imaginary arrow then followed the thread's path without the slightest deviation before reaching and sinking into its target. Therefore, it couldn't miss. This was just a mental projection. If it were equipped with a real arrow, it truly would follow the path of the red thread I had imagined. The arrow would never miss its target, even if it were moving, as long as I could picture this thread. That probably sounded strange, but it was the truth. That was just how a bow worked, as far as I saw it. In the 1,000,000-to-1 event it did miss, it would be because the target and I hadn't been connected. That was why, in my mind, making a connection with the red thread was equivalent to shooting my arrow. Empty draws were a fundamental exercise. Shooting arrows wasn't common in the modern world, so practicing the basics had become important. Yeah, I'm pretty sure those are completely different things. Like in real life, just saying, those are completely different things. Okay. That was why I was performing these drills in my house's tiny backyard. The bowstring quietly roared. I knew the further I drew the bow back, the more power was building within it. By pulling this bowstring, I was entrusting it with my own strength. Much like charging a battery, I put my strength into the bow, and by extension, the arrow. That power became kinetic energy, and the arrow barreled toward the target. With my strength, it closed a gap that I could never cover on my own. It made it to the place that I could never reach in my stead. Okay. The bowstring screeched. English, thank you. I directed all my might toward my imaginary target. Where was all this energy coming from? What was I trying to reach by mustering such strength? It was a vague question, but it dangled before me in the darkness. I had given birth to that question, but now I had isolated myself from it. I pretended it didn't exist, dedicated myself to my target alone, and took aim. The red thread between me and my target pulled tight. My heart responded, as did my body. In my imagination, I prepared to release the bowstring. Just as my fingertips started to let go. Huh? A shadow shrouded my view. No, not my real vision, but in the world of my imagination. All of a sudden, a third presence appeared in that world where only I and the target existed. Ah. In that instance, my fingers released the bowstring that had been pulled back with all their might. I didn't realize what I'd done fast enough. Yup, you broke it. The bow screamed violently. It was said that this sound was once used to exorcise demons in the ceremony of resounding bowstrings. Ow. A sharp pain, or more of a searing heat, ran through my cheek. Before even checking the string, I figured it must have snapped and hit me. Sure enough, when I looked at the bow, its string had snapped. Yep, well, I've done it now. Yeah, what? I thought he went to sleep, man. Maybe he's dreaming? I don't know, dude. I'm confused. How long had it been since I'd messed up this badly? Wait, had I? This was a mistake for sure, but I looked down at my hands. I could feel the feedback plain as day. Yes, feedback. A sensation I only had when hitting my target, just as I envisioned. It was gradually getting brighter up above, although I couldn't see the sun just yet. A portion of it had begun to illuminate the sky. It was that hour where night would end before you knew it, and morning was just around the corner. However, nothing was there aside from the dimly lit sky. I was sure I sensed something else. The feedback that I felt from shooting through it lingered on my hands. Ah. I noticed something fluttering down from the still dark sky. A white object was swaying to and fro. Snow? It was still too early in the season for snow to fall. Although the temperature had started to drop, it was only halfway through October. Based on previous years, there were still 2 months before the snowfall. Hey, okay? Snow doesn't listen to what you want it to do, okay? It does what it wants, okay? If it wants to snow, it's gonna snow, okay? So then, what in the world was this white thing falling from the sky? Well, hopefully it's not something that comes from people. Okay. Okay, well, that's cool. It's a feather. It's an angel feather. That's really cool. I turned my hand to the sky and reached out. The white object swooped down upon me. Thank you. I couldn't believe my eyes. Huh? A feather? It was a pure white feather, and a big one at that. If this did belong to a bird, it would have been pretty massive. A crow? No, maybe even bigger. A raven? Ha! Got him. If you haven't seen the other video, that's what I'm referencing. Okay. Were there any white birds that huge in a residential area like this? Probably not, dude. Oh, God. That's a lot. It wasn't just a single white feather, either. Like snow, one after another danced down from the sky, and yet the owner of those feathers was nowhere to be seen. Ah. I couldn't sense anything in the dark, or I couldn't see anything in the dark sky, but then the presence suddenly appeared. It was directly overhead, and there was no time to avoid it. It's a girl. It's the girl on the cover, isn't it? When I came to, I was lying on the ground. The bow I had been holding had also left my hands. What was that? Yep, there it is. Aw, that's so cute. Wait, how do I? Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, look at that. It's so cute. Okay. Without a moment to think, it filled my vision. A figure sprawled out on the ground. After looking closely, it naturally disturbed me to discover that it was a person. Why was she here? Did she fall? How had she fallen? Fallen angel, man. No, there was no way someone could fall here. I looked up and all I could see was sky. There weren't even any tall buildings around. Had she fallen from a roof? If so, why was she even on a roof? My roof, or perhaps Nakizaki's roof next door? Impossible. No. More importantly, there was something even more bizarre about this. The fact that she literally has wings? Wings? Yeah. A pair of white wings were outstretched beneath the girl who had fallen face up. Were they fake? No, they didn't look that way at all. If these were fakes, then they were very elaborate ones. And if they were real, no human should have wings growing from their back, which means she wasn't human. In other words, an angel? Just then, a streak of light shone across the sky. It was the morning sun. On that morning, an angel descended from the heavens. Okay. Alright. I really love the opening, okay, to this game. I don't know why, I just do. But anyway, guys, I'm going to end the episode there. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please smash that like button. And also hit the subscribe button to become a ghost. And I will see you next time. Peace.